Hello, it's once again time to talk about, it's Christmas Eve, but we got to talk about everybody's favorite electric company. No, not the one here on Long Island, no. Jersey Central Power and Light, otherwise known as JCP&L, which had a massive power failure in Ocean County. Actually, the day after I was there on Sunday. There was a massive power outage in Ocean County. It didn't affect Tom's River, but there's a couple of articles on it. We'll read the one from NJ 101.5. And it said it's affected over 5,000 JCP&L customers, lost power in Manchester and Lacey townships. A substation in the Whiting section of Manchester is to blame. And power will be restored in small groups. So you got to remember it was cold, too. So it says a trip at a JCP&L substation is to blame for a power outage that left over 5,000 customers without power on Monday. So still pretty chilly on Monday. With temperatures in the upper 20s, the substation in the Whiting section of Manchester tripped for an unknown reason at 8:30 a.m. JCP&L spokesman Chris Honig told New Jersey 101.5 that there was no obvious indication of contact by an animal or anything related to the cold temperatures. Restoration after a substation can take time, according to Honig. When we have an outage involving a substation like this, it requires thorough inspections and testing. We just need about another hour or so of testing. At this point, everything tests okay. We'll be able to start stage restorations at this point around 2 p.m. My gosh, it went out at 8:30 and it took them 6 hours. Look at all the. All right, this is the power outage. I guess that this is the outage where it occurred. I guess Manchester Township. Power will be restored in groups of customers. A few hundred, which will take some time, according to Honig. The last restorations will happen at 8 p.m. So that's 12 hours without power. We have to make sure, as we re-energize that bank at the substation, that it's holding up each circuit as we bring it back on. So you have to bring up a circuit, check it, test it, before you bring the next circuit back on, Honig said. So, I'll give JCP&L credit. They're telling people what happened, but, I mean, this shouldn't be happening. Manchester opened up 2 warming centers. One is at the Whiting Fire Company, located at 102 Lacey Road, and at the Manchester EMS substation at 82 Lacey Road. So any resident needing transportation should call Manchester Police to make arrangements. So at least they do provide transportation to the warming centers. But this did make the news in a lot of areas, and it's a one in Asbury Park. There's one in the Daily Voice. And let's go to the News 12 New Jersey one, see if they covered this properly, and it looks like they did a good job. See, now South Shore 12 would not cover this if it happened in the middle of the island, but this is News 12 New Jersey.
Manchester, where thousands lost power yesterday, many forced to go to warming stations. News 12 New Jersey's Kimberly Buck is joining us live this morning. Kimberly, what's the latest?
Good morning, Nick. Yes, we've seen that number come down dramatically. Thankfully, it is chilly out here. You can see your breath. We're looking at 5,000 residents in the Whiting, Manchester area that were left in the
Wait a minute, there's still 700 people without power on Tuesday? Are you kidding me?
Yesterday, could you imagine?
That's a whole day without power.
And what they were dealing with, but the numbers have since improved. We're looking at about 700 residents in the Whiting, Manchester area who are still without power, hoping to be restored by noon. The outages affected residents of Manchester and Western Lacey, according to Jersey Central Power and Light. Being that this was a code blue situation, the Manchester Police Department has set up warming stations at Whiting Fire Company, located at 102 Lacey Road, and then here where we are, Manchester EMS substation. The police department is urging anybody who needs a ride to the warming station to call them at 732-657-6111. Now, the Manchester EMS substation at 82 Lacey Road.
So there may still be people without power right now. We're going to have to check the JCP&L outage map in a moment.
So if you are looking for an available warming center, you're going to want to head to the Manchester Township High School, and they do have some room available since so many people have had their power restored since yesterday evening. So this is the latest here in Manchester. Kimberly Buck, News 12.
So it's unbelievable. At least they covered it. But, I mean, this is ridiculous. This shouldn't happen. This should not happen. So let's take a look at where the substation is here. They said it's in Whiting. So it's probably this substation right here that had a problem. So it's this one right here that had a trip. And, again, they don't have any redundancy. They can't switch to another transformer or anything like that. So, okay. We'll explain to you how this all works. Obviously, these lines you see here, they're the 34.5 kV that JCP&L likes to use for their transmission, or should I say technically sub-transmission, but there's all 34.5 kV on the top. On the bottom, that looks like a high voltage too, looking at those insulators, but it's not. It's low. It's probably 15 kV or something like that. So this is a substation here. That's not a problem. So it was an issue with the transformer. I don't know exactly what happened. They don't know what happened. It's very weird. But you know, their infrastructure loves to fail for no reason. And the thing with JCP&L, here on Long Island, the weak link is the distribution lines. Here, their problem is the substations and the transmission infrastructure there. Always seem to have issues, and no surprise. Probably the extreme cold had something to do with it. It's probably just too much load on the system and caused a trip. And they just, this is this top part here that is 34.5 kilovolts. So this is the backbone of their regional transmission system here. These are all quite old, and probably they just can't handle the load growth. Here on Long Island, we've upgraded a lot of the 34.5 kV stuff to 69, but they don't do that. None of that stuff happened in Jersey. So this is where the substation trip happened, right over here. Obviously, it's in the Pine Barrens, as you see there. We'll read one more article here. Power outage for nearly 6,000 Ocean County customers, JCP&L. And it says here, nearly 6,000 customers without power in Ocean County, prompting local authorities to urge residents to report issues as JCP&L crews work to so the exact number was 5,867 as of 9:16 a.m. on Monday, December 23rd. Cause of the outage, and the outage impacted 5,213 customers in Manchester Township, representing 19.2% of local households. Additionally, 473 customers in Toms River and 173 in Lacey Township were also without power. As of 1 p.m., only 2 customers had no electricity in Toms River, but the same number of customers in Manchester and Lacey are still in the dark. And it said the man concerned where the power is out in all of Whiting. Due to a complexity of the necessary repairs, JCP&L requested additional crews to assist in restoring service. As a press time, the utility estimates power may be restored by 8 p.m. So, I mean, this is their system can't handle. They're saying, oh, we don't know what the cause was. The cause is their system couldn't handle the load. The transmission system couldn't handle the load because everybody was putting their heat on. That's probably what wound up happening because it was cold. And again, their power lines here and maybe their transformers can't handle the load and failed. That's probably what wound up happening. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, look at the truck. They have some nice looking trucks, I'll agree, compared to ours, which is kind of crappy. But they keep having these problems over and over again, JCP&L. So let's lastly go to the JCP&L outage map. And let's see if there's still any customers without power. It still says 64 customers without power, but none related to that outage. I don't see anything over here. But, yeah, so there you go. JCP&L, we love to say, does it again with another blackout on a frigid day. And this is just one more reason why I don't want to wind up having to go live there. But, you know, certain demographic, they don't care about that. So that's why we got to keep fighting the certain demographic to survive here. So I don't wind up having to sit in the dark in Ocean County. Have a good night.